it's Gaza, and this is my Matrix and Biolage artist audition. Come take a look into who I am and how I live my life as an artist.
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good, thank you. Thank you so much for asking. I'm excited to do the interview with you today.
Let's start off with you introducing yourself.
So I'm Gaza of Life as an Artist. I am a hairstylist in Sandy Springs, Georgia. I work in a salon suite, so I have a nice, cute little spot where I get to take care of clients and give them a salon experience, but in the privacy of my own unique space. I started doing hair about 3 years ago. I went to Paul Mitchell, the School Isani. And before that, I was planning hair shows, but I knew there was something more that I needed to do as far as giving the client and the customer some type of experience and service. I like to give. I'm a people pleaser. So I knew doing the hair shows, of course, it's high energy. There's tons of adrenaline going. There's this big production, but I wasn't really connecting with clients like I knew my passion was. In between doing hair shows, I was working at Sally. I found myself really enjoying explaining how color theory works without even going to school. I just was so interested in the science behind it, how to properly take care of the hair, the pH balance, the color wheel, neutralizing versus toning. Everything was so intriguing to me. I knew I had to go to cosmetology school. I was getting close to 30. And you know, like when you're young, you're like, oh my God, 30's old. That's literally how I felt. I was like, oh my God, I'm turning 30. Even though I was like 27. But it was so close to 30. I was like, what am I gonna do? I knew that with Paul Mitchell that there would be a little bit more of a professionalism going into the beauty industry, because I just didn't want to be any average hairstylist. And I already knew I was an artist, so to be able to create for each individual client on a personal level, and understanding what I'm doing before trying to attempt a color service, I knew was important for me. So I went to cosmetology school in Roswell, Georgia, and I met so many amazing people. I was there every single day, on time. I stayed late. I did extra hours. I gave it my all, and it really showed throughout my time at Paul Mitchell. I finished cosmetology school in 2017. I started working at Amazing Salon in Sandy Springs, which kind of set the tone for how I wanted to take care of my clients, cater my clients, make sure they were receiving superb service. I went from an associate to a level 4 through the Summit system in about 2 years. I started there August 2016 as an associate. I graduated June of 2017, and I was there up until I had my first child, and that was January 2019. So I started here in my own salon suite, and I'll say I was able to, we used a couple of different products there. We used a couple of different color lines. Of course, I was still using Matrix while I was doing my wigs and my clip-in extensions and the braidless sew-in. So I knew once I got my own space, I was gonna be using Matrix. And my clients here and the difference, the growth, I have naturally textured, super curly clients that are level 8, 9 blonde, that hair is super strong, super soft, their curl pattern is still there. I make sure they understand the health of their hair and the integrity over the appearance. Period.
That was a great story, and I'm happy for you and all your accomplishments.
I appreciate that. That really means a lot. Thank you.
Okay, so may I ask why you want to become a part of the Matrix and Biolage team as an artist?
You know, I feel like I should be a part of the Matrix and Biolage team as an artist, because so many of their artists right now are mentors and people that I look up to that have an understanding of color, having an understanding of creativity, and just being able to exude themselves as who they are, and giving the clients as close to what they want as possible. And that's how I am. I couldn't imagine myself being with any other company, doing anything else. Even in my everyday life, you know, we film these videos for social media, but I feel like my main passion is filming so that I can teach someone else how to take care of their clients, what to use when, how you get these beautiful results like the people we look up to on Instagram and Facebook, but in our own personal space. The principles, the company's purpose, just because when I look at their Instagram page or the people they have on their team, it's the world. It's everybody. They have people that are at platforms that you can see yourself as, unlike a lot of other hair companies. And it's hard, especially going into 2020, to see someone like you at such a high level with a company. It really gives you the motivation to know I can do it. As long as I continue to educate myself, I continue to practice, you can be there one day. And that's where I would want to be as a matrix artist. I think that I should be a matrix and biolage artist because I thrive on community. You know, it does take a team.
I hear that we'll get to see some color and cut techniques. So who inspired you with this look?
I look up to Christopher Benson. He's one of my inspirations for this look today, which is very clean work. Danielle, Julia John, Kim Gordon, Alfredo Lewis, Ricky, you know, Hair Godzito. It's like there's so many that are doing amazing work because of the products that Matrix have. I couldn't imagine using anything else.
So do you mind if we take a look while you live life as an artist?
Well, of course I don't mind. I would love to show you my life as an artist. And actually, I can present to you my techniques on how I use Matrix and Biolage products. Hey y'all, let's jump right into this color service. So today my client came in with some existing blonde, and she's wanting to brighten up her hair and do a seamless transition so that she can go off to college and not have to worry about getting her hair done every 2 months. So what I'm gonna do is give her a nice bob. We're taking quite a bit of length off. Right now I'm doing just a dry cut, so straight lines, kind of point cutting the ends and getting her ready for her color service. Her hair is nice and healthy, but we do want to get rid of some of those over-processed ends. She hasn't had it taken care of for a few months. And like I said, she wants to get a blonde that is going to grow out very nice, very natural, and something that's easy to maintain while she's away at school. So after I go in and point cut, I go in and make sure that line is close to even as possible, just so when I'm going to do her cut, when she's all colored, I don't have to double work. And as we know, clean sections equals clean color. All right, y'all, so I have mixed up LightMaster and 10 volume for my first bowl, and I'm doing a partial highlight. I'm going fairly thin sections around her face. I'm leaving a little bit of her natural hair on that hairline. I don't want to give her super light around the face so that when it does grow out, she doesn't have prominent lines. So if you look on this next foil, when I go in and weave, I'm taking thick and thin sections on that same foil so that it gives the appearance of a balayage. And when I go to the root, I'm going to feather as much as possible. Using LightMaster, you can do a 1 to 1.5 or a 1 to 2 ratio. Whatever the client's texture and their fabric is how you want to judge how to mix your color or your lightener. All right, so around her face, I took 2 slices, very, very thin. She has a middle part by choice. She has a natural side part, but we don't go that way. We go right down the middle. And I take very, very thin weaves right around her hairline and place that foil there. And as you can see, I'm explaining to my client why I'm feathering at her root, so she knows when she gets back home, she doesn't have to do any bit of toning. She doesn't have to do any bit of work to her hair as it grows out. We want to make sure that it looks like she's been at the lake for a week or a month or her whole life. Basically, seamless blonde, seamless natural blonde is what we're going for. A lot of the matrix artists who I follow and get inspiration from, like Christopher Benson and Daniel Kiesling and Eric, like, these are the people that you want to make sure you're paying attention to, because you can learn so much from Instagram and the people that give you the little insiders on coloring. So after I do those 3, I'm taking a slice right in between that, and I'm going to do a little bit of a tease right at that foil to make sure. That's like the guarantee. That's like, okay, we want to make sure that it looks blended. We want to make sure it looks natural. Let's jump right into this back section. So when I go to the back, because we are doing a partial and because she wants it to last her about 3 to 4 months until her next break, I'm going fairly low on her occipital. And when I foil the back, because she has a natural cowlick right in the center and the top of her head, I'm elevating my sections and then I'm weaving my sections. So if you look one more time, I'm going to elevate the section and then I'm going to weave the section. Place that foil right under there, lock it in, feather at the root, and melt down. And I am going over her previously lightened ends. Like I said, I started with 10 volume around her hairline, and as I get further into her lightening process, I move up to 20 volume. Okay, we are all done. Last foil. And I let my client air process for about 35 minutes or until that last foil was where I needed it to be. And when we remove the foils, she's a nice, clean, level 10, level 9, level 9, 10, but we're going to tone her at a level 9. Before I tone, I like to get rid of that tease, and then I go in with my Soul Silver shampoo. That is the purple shampoo that's going to neutralize any unwanted yellow tones so that we can start with a clean slate before putting on our color sync. So for my client, I have mixed up 9N and 9P. And you want to make sure the hair is really, really towel dry before you apply any type of gloss or toner. If the hair is full of water, it's not going to receive what you're trying to deposit in. So I get it nice and towel dried. I go ahead and examine and make sure that she is all over an even level. Whatever level I'm going to tone at, I want to make sure that all the strands are at that level. If I hadn't processed correctly and she was a level 8 at some places, I would have done a root smudge and then gone in with a level 9 on her ends. But I'm going in all over with 9N, 9P. And I'm making sure she's evenly saturated. I'm going to make sure that is melted in. It's all over distributed. And after we process, we want to do Color Care, the Acid Milk by Biolage. That's going to sit 10 minutes right at the bowl. And then we follow that with a nice scalp massage. And we're going to go in with a So Color Purple Conditioner. That only sits for 5. Alrighty, so let's get to styling. You see how I'm combing that hair like butter? Rubbing right through it. That is all thanks to the leave-in. So that's by Matrix. And you want to spray that pretty liberally. Although her hair is fine strands, there is a ton of it. Go in and round brush pretty smooth. Our goal today is to make sure she's as not as bulky as possible, you know. So I'm going to do a little bit of slide cutting, a little bit more point cutting, and look at that beautiful color. So pleased with Matrix products. So now I am going to do some waves instead of the traditional curl. Nice and natural, free flowy. I woke up like this here. So I got this technique from Mufasa, which is a Matrix artist as well. And I make sure before my client leaves, she knows what she needs products-wise to maintenance this look. So she's leaving with So Color shampoo and conditioner and the Miracle Creator leave-in. And that's all. Her hair is going to retain as much moisture as possible. And look at how beautiful her hair turned out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I did take my client outdoors to explain to her the difference between indoor lighting and natural light outside. They both are so beautiful. I want to thank you, Matrix and Biolage, for having amazing products. And I hope you enjoyed this interview and this audition. I would love to be a part of your team.